The curtain jerker, lightweight bout between Esteban Ribovics and what was supposed to be Camwell Kirk, but is now Loik Radzhabov. If I could say that. There's no odds out on it right now. No books have gotten any odds out. So couldn't get that in for you. But if I'm gonna guess the odds, I'd probably say Radzhabov's gonna be the favorite, even though he's taking it on short notice. And making his debut, Esteban making his debut as well, undefeated for him. But the reason I say Radzhabov's going to be the favorite is because he's a little bit more seasoned in the sport. He fought in PFL previously and Eagle FC. His last fight was in Eagle FC. Got a first round guillotine choke against Zach Zane, and then before that was in the PFL for 9 fights and made it to the championship in PFL and lost both times. So disappointing there, because if he won those, he would have had $1 million and he might not even care if he's in the UFC, but he is at this point. And he's fought some pretty decent guys in PFL. Nathan Schulte, Chris Wade, and then a plethora of other guys, Akhmad Aliyev, Raush Manfio. So pretty solid competition. Rashid Magomedov, Islam Mamedov, bunch of dudes that you may not have heard about, but still very solid competition. And I just think his experience, especially on this kind of stage, is going to work out well for him. The only thing that scares me is him taking it on short notice. He's a strong wrestler. He's not super great on the feet. I'm not really certain on his cardio, but I'm going to bet on him. Not necessarily bet on him, but I'm going to bet that he shows up and is able to get a win just based on his experience. For Ribovics, comes out hot. The guy hasn't been fighting the best competition. Made his appearance on the Dana White Contender Series, gets a first-round knockout against Thomas Paul. But before that, he was knocking out guys on the regional scene like it was nothing, submitting guys like it was nothing. That Argentinian regional scene isn't always the best. The Samurai Fight House is something. But overall, like the level of competition between the two guys is just like night and day. And that's the reason I'm going to take Radzhabov. But I'm interested to see what those odds are, because I don't know, maybe if Ribovics is the favorite, like I almost gotta lay something on Radzhabov. What about you?
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat because right, I was reading off his record to myself, or his opponent's records, Ribovics. As you were talking about it, I mean, he's beaten guys like 1-2, 5-2, 0-0, 5-6, 2-0, 2-2, 4-5, and so on. He's not fighting anybody with good records or a lot of experience per se. And then you look over at his opponent, Loik. He's fighting in the PFL. He's fighting guys like Chris Wade. I mean, he's got the experience factor. I just wish he had more than a week's notice. That's the one thing that's killing me here, because obviously Ribovics is a dangerous dude. He gets a ton of finishes, but the level of competition is not that stiff. And then that you kind of match that up against Loik not having a full camp and then coming in kind of on a week's notice. So it's kind of that you're trying to choose a side, which is going to be more of a disadvantage here. So yeah, I'm interested to see the lines too. You can't really find them anywhere. This is a pretty very recent replacement. But I won't be surprised if it's closer to pick 'em. And it's so hard to choose too, because I mean, maybe Ribovics is this killer, and he's just knocking out cans, but it's not his fault. And he actually is really good. And maybe Loik is going to use that experience and just piece him up, take him down, and beat him up for 3 rounds. It's just one of those things you never know. So I'll be watching the line. If you can get decent value on either side, I think there's things to like about each fighter, but I also think that there's some cause for concern on both sides too. So it's going to be interesting to see what the line is.
Yeah, I'd probably chalk it up to a dog or pass situation. But if you are concerned about the short notice, look at Loik's Instagram, posted a week ago, So before this fight was booked, he posted his weight. It was 165.7. And he said, I've been waiting more than a year. I'm hungry and ready anytime, anywhere. Doesn't matter with who. Give me a fight. So he's ready. He's been ready.